Back with Springfield's Morning News, I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY on this Monday morning. Before Election Day, we're going to talk a lot about the election the next 2 days here and probably for the rest of the week, quite frankly. But there's tons of other issues to tackle, including what's going on at Sangamon County jails. Sheriff Jack Campbell joins us here with Springfield's Morning News. Sheriff, thanks for taking time. We talked just last week about this issue, about detainees who were deemed unfit for trial not being transferred from county jails to the state's custody where they're supposed to go. What's the latest in this case?
Well, good morning, Greg. Thanks for having me. So the latest is that the governor has doubled down on the executive orders and has renewed them to continue to suspend, their statutory responsibility of transferring these inmates that have been declared mentally unfit for trial within 20 days of that declaration. So it's frustrating to us, and we're going to pursue a legal avenue to stop this.
Yeah, and I'm looking at here, the executive orders that were extended just a handful of days ago. The 2024 executive order. That's the one that was issued way back in April of 2020. So April 10th was when this order was issued, and it explicitly says here that all admissions to the Illinois Department of Human Services Forensic Team Program transfer program from Illinois County jails are suspended. This has been going on since April?
Yes.
So how's that been, you guys handling this at the county jails? Has it been a complete blockade, or has there been some transfers going on?
We've been able to transfer some, and I think it reached a high of 15 of these inmates that had been declared unfit. And Greg, as I've said before, we are not prepared to handle them. The needs that they have, the mental health treatment that they require, is not something that Sangamon County Sheriff's Office can provide. So we're frustrated that if the governor is using COVID as the reason as to not transfer, well, COVID still exists in our jail too. But the problem is these inmates need help. That is the focus of all of our legal proceedings here. Is these inmates they are being denied the treatment and the help that they need, and we're not going to stand by idly and just let that continue.
So the latest in the case, again, reset this for us, because you guys were seeking to have the Department of Human Services director in front of the court to answer, because the court had previously said you guys have to transfer these detainees. So what ultimately happened last week?
Well, again, Dan Wright is our attorney, so I would rely on Dan for some specifics.
All of the legal ins and outs.
Exactly.
Sure, no, I understand.
It gets complicated. But the main thing, what we're looking forward now, looking to do now, is we're going to file more petitions for 4 more inmates that have been declared unfit that are in our custody. It's 5 inmates. Now, there was supposed to be 1 transferred this morning. And they notified us over the weekend that they will not be transferring this final one out. So now we stand with that extra one also. So it's just getting out of hand. And again, if they're using COVID as the reasoning or lack of bed space, that's something I have to deal with every day. Every time somebody comes into our jail, we're overcrowded a lot. I am today, but usually it's about 30 to 40 more than what we're supposed to have. So this is their problem, and it should not be a burden to Sangamon County taxpayers.
And again, this is something that I did reach out to the Sheriff's Association, and they said that this is practically universal, and every county is dealing with this. Sangamon County, of course, a larger county in this jurisdiction, but I mean, you've got Peoria, you've got Decatur, you've got even Chicago. I mean, talk about the burdens that you're hearing from your fellow sheriffs across the state and having to deal with this non-acceptance of detainees unfit for trial.
There's about over 100 around the state that are awaiting that transfer. And Greg, we just came off the whole issue with the Department of Corrections and them refusing to take those inmates. So the state has pushed this burden, the financial and potential problems, back onto the counties. There's 102 counties in Illinois. Every sheriff's dealing with the same thing, and we all have the same frustration. None of us have the mental health coverage that these inmates require. So it's wholly unfair to the inmates, especially, and to the taxpayers. And we are going to do what we have to do to force the state to take these inmates.
Sheriff Jack Campbell with us here with Springfield's Morning News, now at 7:28. I'm Greg Bishop, and again, we're talking about the detainees that are deemed unfit for trial not being taken by the state's Department of Human Services as they're supposed to by law, and this all based off an executive order that Governor J.B. Pritzker issued April 10th. not of 2022, not of 2021, April 10th of 2020. And this executive order was reissued just a handful of days ago, essentially saying that the Illinois Department of Human Services forensic treatment programs, admissions to from county jails are suspended. So we'll keep a close eye on what happens here. Sheriff, greatly appreciate your time. And before we go, again, I mean, tomorrow's election day, believe it or not. But, you are an elected official and you talk about some candidates at times. Who are you backing?
Yep. Well, specifically here locally, I like to, Steve McClure for state senator, great friend. Tim Butler, obviously. John Milheiser is a great friend, former coworker for Secretary of State. So, it's the ones that have been the most active here in Sangamon County, the ones I'm focusing on. Rodney Davis in his congressional run, been a great friend to law enforcement. So, those are some of the ones I'm backing here, and we'll keep an eye on everything.
And you are up for reelection this year, but not in the primary. There's nobody that ran against you in the Republican primary, but you could face a challenger come November. Talk about how we don't know if that's going to happen or not.
So talking to Don Gray, it looks like the Democrats have till July 25th to just appoint somebody to the ballot. And I don't know what's going to happen, but I know I did my job. I worked hard. I passed petitions, got my signatures, and did it the right way to get on the ballot. And I would hope that anybody that's going to seek such an important office as Sangamon County Sheriff would have done that the same thing. So I think the people know the job that I've done, and they've supported me, and I look forward to serving another 4 years.
Sheriff Jack Campbell here with us on Springfield's Morning News. Greatly appreciate your time as always. We'll definitely be talking in the near future.
Thanks for having me, Greg. Good to see you.
It is Springfield's Morning News now at 7:30, and we got to take a break. Coming back, we'll talk with Jesse Rising, a candidate for Congress in the 13th Congressional